TIFU not checking the exam room before a final exam. This happened when I was in college. Went in the usual classroom for a chemistry final exam. When I entered, it was pretty busy, but I thought it was normal as people were just settling in. Everyone already got their exam papers. So I went to the front to get mine. I was kind of confused when the instructor said, "Good luck. You have 5 minutes left," while chortling. Then I realized that people weren't settling in. They were finished and handing in their papers. Did I just miss the final exam, which carries 30% of the course grade? I thought to myself. I sat down and was about to burst into tears, until I looked at the paper and realized it was for a different course. Mine was moved to the next room and wouldn't start in another 15 minutes. Almost got a heart attack, cold sweat smile. No wonder I have never seen this instructor before. I thought he was one of the teaching assistants. Or maybe he was standing in. But now it's clear he's just an instructor for a different class. TLDR. I went into my usual classroom to take a final exam, not realizing it had been moved to another room. Thought I missed the final exam when it actually hadn't started. Gave myself a panic attack for no reason. Did you pass though? Biology class. Midterms I was sick and missed it, so they rescheduled another day. Instructor gives me the midterm as she gives a class, and makes me go in this tiny closet room to write it alone. Was about 15 minutes into it until I started looking around the closet room. It was all biology books. Stacks and stacks. Needless to say, I aced that exam. My university checked ID when you entered and locked the door when the exam started. They don't do that in college? Doesn't that mean anyone could enter and write your test for you? I once overslept and actually arrived late for a final exam. As I opened the door to slip in, the professor shooed me away and followed me outside. Thought I was gonna get chewed out for being so late. Instead, she told me I had done so much extra credit work for that class that my grade was over 100 even if I got a 0 on the final. Told me to go back home and back to sleep. So I did. My school had an enrollment of about 10,000. In the 2 years I was there. 0 ID checks. Most of my classmates were small enough that it made sense. By even the big lecture hall classes with 100 people never checked. You could retitle this, "School Nightmares I Have Every Night." I think many of us could relate to that. This is what nightmares are made of. Yup. This will be the source of your nightmares many years after you graduate. Without fail, when finals roll around, boom, the nightmares start. Did you say something to the professor or just leave? Dude, I did that for real for one of the final courses of my degree. I wasn't a great student, especially in that class because it was at 8 a.m. I lived off campus, and I would typically get home from work between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. So I missed things even if I showed up and was on time. I relied on the online portal and syllabus to make sure I kept up with readings, etc. Well, I had entered all my exams in my schedule at the start of semester, and double-checked my calendar against the syllabus and also looked online for any changes. Nada. So I show up for my exam and there's no one in the classroom. Okay, room change? After looking in some likely lecture halls and frantically checking online, my email, etc., I go to the department office to find out where the exam is. I'm confused because the girl at the counter is in that class with me. I feel the judgmental superiority rolling off of her as she explains that the exam was held yesterday. The time was announced several times at the beginning of class over the last few weeks. Oh my God. The stress. Foreboding. And shame that felt that morning remains unmatched. I was sure I had just thrown away my entire college career. I contacted the professor. He wasn't happy, but turns out I was not the only one who missed the exam. And he allowed me to take it in his office later that day. I didn't do as well as I could have, but at least I passed and I was able to graduate. I remember waking up late to my final exam. By the time I got to class, there was only half the amount of time left. People were already turning in their exams. I finished it with a few minutes to spare and managed a B on the exam. But man, was that scary. Walked in 30 minutes late to a midterm calculus exam. Still managed to pass as the material was mostly review. This is like one of those nightmares I get, except worse. I did only have a few minutes left of the exam when I arrived. I had a macroeconomics class which I wasn't the best at. But I knew the date of the final exam. Studied hard. Felt really confident about it. Arrived at the date of the exam. Checking the billboard for the exam room. It's not there. Well, I'm somewhat early. Maybe they didn't hang it yet. Waiting. Nothing. Go into the administration office. Where's the exam? No idea. They don't know about it. WTF. I clearly remember the exam is today. At this hour. Check the website for the exam schedule again. I was 3 days late to the exam. The test retake is only after the next semester. Had to study to the test all over again. Did okay-ish. Not a foo, but I thought it was. Initially, I showed up for a final English 101 exam, which was a pretty boring class for me. I excelled in English in high school. Sat down, reviewed the exam. Multiple choice with an essay on the back. Okay, not too bad. I finished the last sentence on the essay. Then look around to see that none of the 100+ students had left. Not one. I questioned if I had missed a page. Looked again. Nope. I sat for another 10 minutes just hoping someone else would stand up and turn their test in. That maybe I could get confirmation that this truly was as easy as I thought it was? Nope. I finally stood up, turned in the test, and walked outside of the classroom. I sat outside of the classroom for another 20 minutes before the next student walked out. I asked him, "Hey, there were just 3 pages of multiple choice questions and a single page essay on that exam. Right? Nothing more?" "Yeah, that's all it was," he says. I left. Got the grades later. I got a 99%. Craziest test I've ever taken. Was an absent-minded student my first year in university, and managed to attend at least a month of a mathematics course that was the wrong section for its classroom. Nearly had a breakdown when I realized when midterm season rolled around. In desperation went to the maths department building and asked the first professor I saw for help. Kind man fixed things up for me, which was amazing because the professor I had actually inspired me to like math for once, even though it was an elective. Best grades I've ever had in my life, all things considered, in math. A is for heart attack. Don't they verify student ID? Also, most schools I know don't give out exams if there's almost no time left.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.